Hello, this is Dr. Ellen Cutler, and I'm happy to be with you today to talk about my Ellen Cutler method, ECM. And there's a whole lot of topics I can talk about. One of the things I wanted to share with you is the fact that one of the aspects of ECM, which is an energetic tool consisting of a program that I developed over many years to evaluate and to assess the underlying health root causes of many chronic, if not all chronic health disorders. One of the areas that ECM really is fascinating and interesting and exciting to work with, it can determine in a very unique way if your body is reacting to different supplements you're taking or the different ingredients in the supplements. And what's most interesting is it can actually determine if that supplement is actually good for you. This is something I do with my clients. So I have a practice in Mill Valley. And the reason I'm now coming out and doing more marketing on ECM after many years, I've decided to start training healthcare practitioners in ECM to learn it, to utilize it exclusively in their practice or as an adjunct in their ongoing practice, or using the tools I've developed. And these tools are really understanding the root causes of chronic health issues. And what is unique about this is that, and that's determined when you see which supplements are good for you, they might be very different. Okay, you have two people that come in and they have psoriasis or other autoimmune situations. And they have been given through other healthcare practitioners a slew of different supplements. By the way, I have found one of the underlying causes of psoriasis is yeast or candida. And it doesn't mean somebody has an over amount of it. They could even have a little. But what's unique about what I do and what I've practiced and taught for years is you can be reactive or sensitive to yeast. So therefore, even if you have a small amount that is determined through different tests, urine, stool, etc., your reaction to those, reactivity to it, could cause something like a psoriasis or eczema, for example. So I am now going to teach my ECM, and I'm very excited to do that and offer this opportunity that will really can change your life of yourself, your family, and can change the lives of your clients or your patients. So interesting enough, many people come in, sometimes they come in with suitcases of different supplements. They've read about it, they're healthcare practitioners, they're friends. I mean, this happens every day. Don't we see that? Don't you know? Well, I saw that NAD, I think, can really help with improving my longevity or dementia, fighting dementia, etc., or mitochondria. Sounds great, but you know what? It might be something that works for you, but might not work for someone else, or might work for you with something else also. So one of the aspects of what Ellen Cutler Method ECM does is actually look at what supplements are good for you. I have a way of determining that, and if they are going to make a difference. And the other thing that's really most critical, are you sensitive to the ingredients of that particular supplement? And believe it or not, if you start looking at labels, you see that a lot of different supplements have different ingredients that you could very well be sensitive to. And not only will it not help you, but it might give you other symptoms. So for example, if you're somebody that has a histamine intolerance, and you know you stay away from foods that have high histamine or high releasing histamine or liberating histamine, or even if you're a little bit, you could have a histamine or some kind of reaction like that to the actual ingredients in the supplements. So what we can do with this, with the ECM, is not only recognize it, but can also clear, desensitize you with a very interesting, unique method based on some acupressure and some other kinds of energetic tools to actually clear it. So, for example, if you bring in, let's say, a vitamin C supplement, and it is good for you, but you might be sensitive to the ingredients in it, you can actually get desensitized and clear those ingredients, and then it will work for you. And not only will work for you, it will really improve your symptoms and help with why you're taking it in the first place. And one of the areas that also goes along with this is that most people have intolerances to foods. Foods are huge intolerance because it could be the backbone or really the underlying root of many chronic health issues. I have not seen in my practice any particular chronic health issue that did not have foods as the underlying symptom. And where I see it most, which is really wonderful work with, is children. Because you can see children, probably one of the most important things, and I teach this to my doctors who study with me, my healthcare practitioners who study with me, that foods for children are so important. So more often than not, if they're having eczema or if they're having chronic runny noses or chronic sinus issues, or if they're having some respiratory issues, oftentimes the first thing you look at is food intolerance. So you can be allergic to a food, you can be intolerant to a food, you can be sensitive to the food. One thing that I have found is that when you are intolerant, just taking a good full spectrum digestive enzyme will help reduce that intolerance and often the sensitivity. Sometimes people are sensitive and intolerant and they need to be cleared for that reactivity to that food. Sometimes people are very allergic, which ECM is way beyond ECM's treatment. Sometimes we've had some good results with people who are really truly allergic, but that's not something I teach. That's way beyond the ECM method. But more often than not, I would say 80 to 90%, I've written books about it, I've talked about this for years and years. Food intolerance is key. And getting to those root causes of the foods and why you're intolerant is also very, very important. So for example, foods have amino acids in it. They have what's called phenolics, which give food its color and flavor and aroma. They have vitamins in it. They have minerals in it. They have maybe some other environmental toxins that we're not even aware of, that of course are not good, like pesticides if you don't eat purely organic. And even if you purely organic, we're not definitely sure all organic doesn't have some spillover of other pesticides, for sure. So one of the things that ECM does initially with most new clients or people that come in looking at foods, but looking at the ingredients of the foods. So for example, you might be sensitive to a few of the minerals. I've seen many people sensitive to calcium, many people sensitive to magnesium, and even though we know they're good to take or they're good in our foods, you could be sensitive to. For example, did you know if you're sensitive to calcium, it can cause headaches? If you're sensitive to magnesium, that can also cause headaches. And it can cause irritability and can mask other kinds of symptoms that you're experiencing as well, too. So, understanding what foods and understanding what underneath those foods. Is it a vitamin? Is it a B vitamin, vitamin C? And people say to me, how is it, Dr. Cutler? It's impossible to be allergic to vitamin C. I mean, it's part of us, although we don't produce it. But, or vitamin D. Everybody should be taking vitamin D. True, not everyone should, but most people probably do. But many people are sensitive to it. And I have seen it. I can go through a list of crazy symptoms that you wouldn't even think that were related to being sensitive